Okay. Hi. I'm the first negative speaker, Brady. And I'm going to give the affirmative refutation. So the evidence that my opponent presented supporting her first subpoint in her significance claim that animal testing is cruel and unnecessary states that animals suffered pain during experiments while being given no anesthesia or relief. But according to my research presented in my first subpoint, the appropriate use of tranquilizers, analgesics, anesthetics, paralytics, and euthanasia for animals in such research and appropriate pre-surgical and post-surgical veterinary medical and nursing care for the animals in the research. So there are laws put in place to protect these animals to an extent. They also stated that it was 95% of animals aren't covered under this law. That's because 90% of that 95% is mice and rats, bred for research purposes, and they're not covered because they are being bred for the specific purpose of being tested on, and supplying that much anesthetic is a wasteful use of resources and money. According to Nature News, several million mice per year are used for phenotyping in the UK alone, and many animals are needed to propagate the experimental animals, and that's because you need multiple generations to actually perform this research so that you can see what the results are after 2 to 3 generations. Mice are used because they have a quick lifespan, and usually their lifespan usually ranges from 1 to 2 years. Also, animal testing, although it is not the most accurate research technique available, it is crucial in looking at the effects of drugs on full body systems. Dr. Cara Rogers, who emphasized in pharmacology and toxicology at the University of Arizona, stated how a drug behaves in the body is largely determined by its chemical properties, such as size, chemical constituents, and solubility. While the results of in vitro, meaning in a laboratory setting, experiments on human cells are sometimes applicable to determining the expected outcomes of animal studies, there are often unexpected effects in full-bodied animals. She goes on to say that the effects on the body, the effects of the body on the drug and the effects of the drug on the body often require testing in animals to determine the most effective way to administer the drug. The drug distribution, metabolism, and excretion or unexpected side effects on the body. These studies are dependent on the circulatory system. In other words, when a drug enters the bloodstream, it's carried to specific organs where it undergoes chemical transformations that determine its effects. These types of studies are extraordinarily difficult to perform outside of full-bodied animals, since in vitro studies often cannot form a complete picture of the drug's actions. And also for technology, they have not created full-body systems yet, and are not able to fully understand what the drug's effect would be on a full-body organism. And therefore instead of eliminating animal testing altogether, which would also eliminate very important research, like I was just stating, we proposed a reformation of the implementation of animal testing regulations to help reduce the mistreatment of animals in testing. Also, all of the numbers that are stated today are subjective. They're all done by surveys, and so not everybody is forced to give a number. So the numbers are completely skewed. Yeah.